Okay, hello and welcome to the Rags to Reasonable Variable Income Planner. So this is just going to be a quick and a very informal video to give you a bit of a tour of the spreadsheet and how it works and how you can use it and how it might help you figure out your year and projecting some of your expenses and income into the next year. So the purpose of this sheet is to try to bring together all of your expenses from different sources to give you a sense of what your life costs and also a sense of what you might be expecting income-wise from multiple income sources, sources that vary. So this is what we're going to be talking about. So the first sheet is a base information sheet. We can kind of revisit this later, but basically it's a few pieces of information. So we're going to talk about the deductions that come off your income, which are these cells here, the tax amount that you want to be taking off, the commission, if there's any commission. You can change these to whatever you want, cost of goods, if that's more how you think about things, and you put a percentage here. We'll see how that kind of comes back later. You can also pick your start month. Right now it's set to the 1st of January, but you can pick the 1st of any month. It works best if you pick the 1st. It doesn't work kind of within the month. So pick the 1st of a month that you'd like to go. The next tab here we have personal expenses, and the way that that works is it's just broken down into a bunch of things that your costs that your life might have. So it's broken into the categories of fixed monthly expenses, the things that are the same every month. So you can enter in, rent amounts here, life insurance, what your car payment might be, really expensive car and cheaper rent. So that's fun. Netflix, all this kind of stuff. Here you have your other basic monthly things like food and dining out, like clothing. Basically, go through this, put down your expenses. Is also an opportunity for you to put down some annual expenses. These are the things that happen a couple of times a year. And the way the spreadsheet works this out is things like Christmas. So let's say you spend $800 on Christmas. What you can do is you can check the box that expense happens. So let's say you're planning to spend $2,000 on vacations in the year, but you're taking 2 vacations. You can click one is happening in March, one is happening in August. What this will do is we'll take the whole yearly amount, this $2,000 amount, and divide it by 2. So it'll put $1,000 in March and $1,000 in August. You'll see how that comes up in one of the later charts, but that's kind of how it works. If you're not sure if it's one of these like, I spent $1,000 on clothing a year, but I don't know when, just click not applicable, and it'll kind of spread that expense out over each month. So it'll divide that by 12. You'll see the same thing here for business. One area that I didn't quite go over here is this periodic expenses, which is in both. This is a category that lots of people aren't going to use, but you can use it for putting things like, let's say, an extra rent. Let's say you're traveling somewhere for 3 months, and there's like a $2,000 rent from April to July. So you can add an expense for a period of time in there. Works really well for people that travel a lot. That's what I use it for a lot. Business expenses, same general thing. A lot of people ask about what to put in business, what to put in personal. My rule of thumb is just make a decision. For the things that are kind of gray, just don't put them in both places. Put them in one. What you're trying to do is kind of get a cost of your life. Now this one is for income. So what you'll see here is income broken into several different categories. First is regular income. That's income that's the same every month. So whether you have a base salary that's the same every month or a government benefit or something like that. If you've got a government benefit, you can say if tax needs to be taken off, check this. If there's another deduction, this is where those deductions come back in. You can take that amount off, and then you can put whatever the amount is. Next category, irregular income. This encapsulates some of those things like serving or different kind of work that is the same every month, or that you work every month but the amount changes. So let's say you've got a serving job. They take off taxes at the source, so you don't need to worry about that, and no deductions necessarily. But let's say you can make the lowest amount is $200 a month and the highest amount is $1,000 a month. And you only work that from, you can pick the months here. So you could say, I only work that from September until February. And what this will do, we'll kind of look at that next. It'll give you the option to either use the lowest amount for planning or the average amount for planning, so that you kind of have a thoughtful number to roll around. Periodic income is this idea of, let's say you're doing a theater gig and you're getting paid $1,000 a month for 3 months. So let's say you're paying commission and you have to take taxes off. That'll make sure that there's some deductions. You're getting paid $1,000 per month from the months of February to May. So that's kind of how to enter that. And then gig income is like, let's say you did a commercial. You need to take taxes off. You need to pay your commission. Feel free to add 2 or 3 commissions in if you have different rates of commission. Let's say it's for $4,000, and when you receive that money is in July. So that's, you can enter in kind of gig one-time income. And then what you'll be able to see on this thing is 2 things. One chart which will show you the income specifically mapped, and what this shows you is the whole amount that you'll make and then the deductions and the net amount. So the blue bar here is your net income. The yellow, you'll see here, is the tax amount that's taken off, and that's related to, on the first sheet, this percentage that you put in here, and what you ended up checking the box for of what taxes you need to take off. And the red is other deductions. So it's commission, it's cost of goods, it's whatever you kind of had as the other deductions. And you'll also see at the top here, you can either plan or show using the lowest for those irregular streams or the average. The lowest here in this case would use this $200, and then the average would use the average of these 2 amounts, and only in the months kind of when you have it checked off. So you can see the shape of your potential income from the year. You can also play around with, oh, what would happen if I make that? And then on the next one, you can see what that looks like against what you expect your expenses to be. So this income is your net income. It doesn't include the tax amount that's being taken off, just the net income. So you'll see $3,100 there for July is the net income, this blue bar here. And then you'll see these expenses, which correlate to how you put in those things. You have that extra random rent, you have a $2,000 car payment. Since we completely made things up, it may look a little bit bizarre, but what you'll see is where some of the gaps are and where some of the stress might come in your life. On the side here, you can see, you can also plan with lowest and average here. If you check both boxes, it's going to add them together, and that's just not going to be accurate. You'll see what your net income is for the month, what the expenses are for the month, and whether it's a surplus or a deficit here. You'll also see in the bottom here what your whole amount, surplus or deficit, is for the next 12 months, the minimum that you need to kind of cover those expenses, which is around $4,500, and the monthly available that you have from your income right now, averaged out, just kind of ballpark numbers, which is around $767. So it can give you some information in order for you to do your planning. So have fun. And if the spreadsheet breaks, which it sometimes does, it probably doesn't mean you made a mistake. It just sometimes happens. I would say just download a new version and start again. Have a great day. Bye.